that connects the defendant, Alex Murdaugh, to the crimes. It's a very circumstantial case. There's stuff missing that maybe you would like to see in a case of this sort, like maybe the guns, maybe what I'm calling the preppy clothes, the khakis and the blue shirt that were being worn during the tree bending incident when he was out there with Paul. We've learned a little bit from this witness that maybe they were back in the house and maybe this witness, Blanca Simpson, washed them. Give me your broad brush, Tracy, on that level of presentation in this case, just the hardcore evidence.
Well, it's good to be on with you, Michael. I think that that is really the place where they can point the most reasonable doubt in this case. Just from listening to Harpootlian at the beginning sort of poke holes in terms of the initial investigators, right, in their collection or really lack thereof of footprints, of fingerprints, lack of securing the crime scene, the fact that things were done, a few hours later, a few days later. I think that's also what he's doing here when he was asking this housekeeper about whether or not SLED had asked her for these things or asked her to not clean, quite frankly, before she actually went ahead and did so. And her saying that they never did really sort of makes a jury question the veracity and question the competence, quite frankly, of SLED. And so that you already have a circumstantial case, right? And then now on top of that, you have the defense poking holes in the collection of really what evidence there was even in the first place.
Yeah, it's bizarre, I think, that the day after you have the housekeeper just showing up, hey, just another day on the job, and she gets a call from Alex Murdaugh saying, this tragedy has happened, but, just stay away from the kennels, go in the front door and clean up. So, Katherine, that's weird.
That is definitely weird. I say that's one of the top critical testimony that she provided us, which is Alex Murdaugh actually told her to go to the house, clean, and instructed her where to go to avoid the SLED agents. He is a trial attorney, so he should have known better that if you want to catch the killer of your wife and son, wouldn't you want to preserve the evidence as much as possible? And I think it's not unusual for the SLED agents to give him some slack, him and his family. During the Mallory Beach boating incident, Mallory Beach's mom stated in an interview that she saw the Murdaugh's family able to go to the crime scene, but she couldn't. So there are some slacks giving to that family because of their stature.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting that the big issue, or one of the issues, was the pots of food on the stove. Why were they not on the stove? Seems to me, give me your take, Tracy. If I'm in a rush because I've just killed family members and I need to clean up, I'm not sure taking the pots off the stove and putting them in the fridge is a high priority for me, especially if we never do that normally. What's your take on that bit of info?
It's definitely not a high priority for me. And I completely agree with Katherine that I do feel like this family is sometimes afforded a bit of leniency because of their stature within the community. No, it's not logical behavior. You're absolutely right. However, to say that, I have investigated cases where people have done a lot of very illogical things. I had a gang violence case where the guy wanted to finish putting cream cheese on his bagel. So there's that type of thing is, yes, unusual and does perhaps speak to guilt or innocence, but it's not something that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right, both of you, that the morning after there was a lot of leeway given to the Murdaugh family. I don't think there was a shred of concern that he had done this. That developed over time. Okay, before we take a quick break, I know that Rich Schoenstein earlier today had a tarp and a jacket on, and I'm gonna an injunction against him for using props. But anyway, my question is bigger than that. What is this? Is it a tarp? Is it a poncho or rain jacket? Remember, the housekeeper for Alex Murdaugh's mom said somebody came in just holding this thing rumpled up. We don't know what it was, so maybe it's not so easy to tell what something is. I know this is a little unfair in this 2D world, but Tracy, what is it? Is it a raincoat, poncho? Is it a tarp? What's your thought? Guess.
In all honesty, it looks a lot like my FBI raid jacket, just folded up.
Okay, I'm going to give you that. I'll give you that one. And Katherine, your thoughts?
I would say it's a raincoat as well.
Okay.
And I agree. It's so difficult to figure it out when it's clumped up like that.
I mean, I tell you, it's got grommets on it. It's got grommets. See that? It's a grommet. I don't know if that makes a difference. Okay, we'll figure that out over the course of the afternoon. Let's take a break. We'll come back. They are on a break in the courtroom while they sort out an objection over hearsay. Seems like sort of a lesson that's being dealt with in the court to figure out what that really means. We'll take a break here and come back, figure it out.